Welcome, friends. It's Ray. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today I'm making a graduation card using a scrapbook.com stamp set as well as a Stamping Bella stamp set. For those of you that sew, I am going to make some alterations today. Let me know in the comments what alterations you've made to stamps or dies as you have made your cards. So I thought I had this card, the layout all designed in my head, and put it, I was stamping it on paper here and actually do somewhat of a 180 in terms of the design. But here I am stamping my graduation girl, my Stamping Bella Uptown Girl Grace, The Graduate is the name of this stamp set. Love her. I am stamping her just once. I don't want a thick image. I don't want to heat emboss because I already know that I am going to alter this stamp. I am making two of these designs. I always do a backup, especially if I am planning to alter something. I'm using the Photoplay Cap and Gown Grad Day pattern paper. I'm going to use the front and then the back for this design. I cut a 1.5-inch strip of pattern paper. I turn the paper over to the other side, the predominantly black side, and cut a 1/2-inch strip. I stamp the inside sentiment from the Stamping Bella stamp set. It's a quote by Dr. Seuss, and stamped it a little to the left. And now am affixing my, affixing glue to my pattern paper, adding the black focal edge, and then am going to affix that to the inside of my card. And I will trim off or let that set underneath some blocks and then trim off the excess with my scissors. So I didn't get all of this on camera, but as I was about to alter the hair on this stamp, my daughter came down, and she is quite the artist. She is doing online college right now. Hopefully will be going back in the fall. But she's quite the artist, and I asked her if she would not mind being on camera and actually doing the hair for me because she's so good at this. So she's using a micron pen, a Pigma micron pen, a number 02, and she is making some curly hair for my little graduate. So my daughter has finished the hair and now is using a Prismacolor Sienna marker to color in the skin. This took her no time to do. It probably would have taken me 3 times as long. So after coloring the skin, then she will color the cap and gown and the flowers. I will list all of the colors in the video description, the marker colors that she used. And she is so good at this, she was able to do shading with one color. I could not have done that. I did speed up the coloring quite a bit, but if you want to skip through any of the coloring, I will leave an index below so that you can fast forward through the coloring if you'd like. I will have Taylor color a second backup image because off camera I die cut or use my scan and cut to cut out the graduate. And then I also am preparing a different front panel. And this card is large. It's going to be 5.5 by 8.5. So basically an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock folded, scored and folded in half. And checked with the postmaster and don't have to pay extra postage. The size falls just under the measurements that would require extra postage. So beautiful coloring. Thank you, Taylor. Here I'm working on my front panel. I have die cut a large star um, and am using the um, negative to actually ink onto my panel using Spun Sugar Distress Oxide ink. I'm using 120-pound accent opaque cardstock for this front panel. I ink a large star and then 2 smaller stars. So here I'm placing some Distress Oxide Black Soot and some worn lipstick distressings on my Art Impressions palette, spraying those with water and actually just taking my paintbrush and adding some splatter. And here I think I add a little bit too much, but um, I splatter the black and the pink all over and then place my image, my graduate on top and line up my sentiment. I keep going, but in the back of my mind, I'm wondering, did I put too much splatter on this card? But I'm going to go ahead, prep my panel for heat embossing, and stamp my congrats with some VersaFine Onyx Black ink and add a little clear embossing powder and heat emboss that. So I thought I'd see exactly how this looks after I heat emboss my sentiment. Here I trimmed the panel to 5 by 8 inches, trimming a little off of each side. So here is where I stopped. I placed my image on top, took some pictures, sent those over, texted those over to my friend Veronica, who's been crafting for many, many, many more years than me. And I said, how does this look? Is this too much in terms of splatter? And she thought, well, she liked the splatter, but the image was getting lost in on the front. And so we talked, and then I decided that I would cut out a pink star, ink it again with spun sugar, and place it on top of the image with the splash. This was one of those times where I just looked at it too much and needed to step away, regroup, come back, and finish the card. I mounted my white panel onto a black mat measuring 4.25 by 8.25. I popped my graduate up on foam squares and now am placing her off center of the star and have You Are Amazing sentiment that I heat embossed with Alabaster white Brutus Monroe embossing powder off camera and am placing that underneath her feet so that she is grounded. And then I come in with some Studio Katia clear crystal gems that I am placing on the main star, and just 3 of those on the star, and then a couple, one on each of the smaller stars. I use my multi-matte medium to affix those along with my jewel picker, and then decide that I wanted to come in with some gold splatters as if I had not had enough of splatters, right? But I'm actually using my, first using my black gel pen to fill in just some black splatter, a little bit more at the top there, and then come in with my gold Uniball gel pen to add some gold splatters. I hope this video inspires you to alter your stamps for a custom look. And if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if not already subscribed. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, good day, friends.